Hello, my name is Russell Myers, independent for U.S. President for 2024. I have made a vow to run a campaign which is not based on mudslinging. Of course, I want to focus on the issues. Of course, I realize that this could well be a mistake in a country where millions can recite every detail of the Depp Heard case, but don't know that we are facing a global food shortage, which has the potential to take hundreds of millions to billions of lives this year. Still, I will point out a major difference between me and my opponents. They talk. That's all they do. They talk. Most of the members of Congress have never done anything in their adult lives but talk. It seems highly doubtful they have any life skills, so they talk and talk. They talk about working people, but rarely, if ever, have known an honest day of labor. They talk about crime, yet have never lived in a high-crime neighborhood, never been assaulted or had to physically defend themselves in a fistfight. They talk about criminal justice, but have never spent more than a few minutes in a jail or prison, if ever. They talk about medical care, but have never had to decide between going to a doctor or buying groceries. They talk about veterans, but most have never worn a uniform, never worked at a VA hospital. They talk about drugs and addiction, but have never worked in addiction treatment, never sat up all night with a friend going through a crisis because of drug use. They talk about housing, while they have never risked being homeless, never had a city condemnation notice on their front door, never slept in a room with a leaking roof, and afraid of losing even that. They talk about poverty, but have never missed a meal because of money, never survived on ramen and hot dogs, never known the fear and shame that poverty brings, never taken out a high-interest payday loan, never bought food on credit, never had a bounce check. They talk about transportation, but not public transportation, never ridden public transportation in this country or another country with far better public transportation. They have no idea what high-speed rail feels like, never spent the night on a bus stop because they missed the last bus of the night. They talk about family violence, but have never experienced it firsthand or worked with abuse victims. They have no idea what the internal cost is. They talk about gun crimes and gun rights, but have never been in a live shooter event, never stared down a barrel, never had a gun in their ribs or been shot at, never had nightmares that their own child's school could be the next target of a mass shooter, and the only thing that they could do is identify the body of their child when it was over. They talk about mental health and mental illness, but have not faced devastating depression, never had a family member or a friend who could not afford mental health care, never seen firsthand human beings incarcerated instead of being given treatment. They seem completely unaware of the problem, absolutely oblivious. They talk about education, but have never attended a school, which could barely be called a school, which was basically a form of incarceration itself. They talk and talk and talk and talk. They use workers, minorities, veterans, police officers, battered women, doctors, and nurses as photo ops just before they pass legislation which does more to make these same people struggle more than ever before, make real human beings suffer on a daily basis. They talk about things that they have never experienced, will never experience, have no understanding of, and no genuine desire to understand. Personally, I have experienced everything I have mentioned, and so have true empathy for all of the struggles, the fears, the pain, and the suffering of actual Americans. I am about a lot more than talk. Talk is cheap. It is actions that matter. If you want a president who can genuinely relate to the typical American, that will take actions which help real people like yourself, then please give me your support. Share this video or this article. Talk about these subjects. Communicate with each other. How do you feel about these candidates, these elected officials that keep on talking and do absolutely nothing? How do you feel about it? Is that what you want? I don't think that's what most Americans do want. So please, share this article or video. Talk about these subjects. If you can, please donate whatever you can to help support the campaign. If you cannot afford it, you are helping by sharing the articles or videos and expanding visibility for the campaign. And I can absolutely understand if you cannot afford it. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a good day.